Hey everyone, it's been a while. I'm here with another unboxing video. This model was given to me by Eaglemoss, so thank you very much Eaglemoss for allowing me to review this ship. Yeah, so we're going to be looking at the USS Shran. You would have seen my Fresh Out of Space Talk video for this ship featured in Star Trek Online. I'll have a link for that video in the description below if you haven't seen it. It's a short video, but it's a small ship, so it's not many beauty shots, but I figured I got enough in there to kind of get the point across. This is the USS Shran. It's not an entirely big model. Let's take a look at it now. So here it is in the stand, and we're going to get some closer shots of it here in a minute. But no, it's literally about the size of my hand, maybe a little bit smaller. Size varies depending on the size of your hands, I guess. But it's a nice little ship. The saucer section of itself is actually like a metal. Like, I don't know if that sounds like metal on the mic or not. But then the nacelles part that wraps around the saucer is plastic. So pretty much your standard metal saucer, plastic nacelles. You see here that it says USS Shran NCC-1413. Yeah, nice little weight to it. You see on the back the blue grill that I'm going to talk about in the magazine, which I have somewhere. This is what happens when you're not prepared. So here's the magazine. There's some concept art in here. This is the Magee-class, launched in the 23rd century. Its length is 225.53 meters. Yeah, there's some additional info. But in the box, which is a very nice box, you get the magazine, you get the ship, obviously, and then you get, as always, the stand. So if you do end up getting this, and for some reason you're missing the magazine, which is hardly ever, I don't know, it just goes on like that. So let's get up close and personal and take a look at the ship, and I'm going to read some of the things out of this article. Not the entire thing, but just some key points about the concept and the background of the ship. Let's do that now. The USS Shran, in all likelihood named after the famed Andorian commander Shran, was a Magee-class starship, one of the smallest of the Federation ships in operation in the 23rd century. The ship consisted of a saucer section with two large nacelles running around it. These nacelles were built directly onto the saucer without the aid of nacelle supports, while the bridge was located between them. The Magee-class was a class of ship named after the pilot and poet John Gillespie Magee, remembered for his poem, High Flight. In the early days of Star Trek Discovery, John Eaves was tasked with designing an entire fleet of Starfleet ships. He turned out somewhere between 60 and 70 different designs, each of which looked at different ways of combining the classic elements of the original Enterprise. They almost all had a saucer and warp nacelles, but everything else was up for grabs. The ship that became the USS Shran was nestled firmly in the middle of the pile of drawings. Eaves produced a sheet showing designs of 4 potential ships that were labeled 27 to 30. In the bottom corner was a design that consisted of little more than a saucer with 2 nacelles running through the sides, rather than on the usual pylons. To Eve's surprise, it came back with a tick. At first, he was a little taken back. I remember when they chose that one, I was like, oh no, that stubby thing, he laughs. The first name given to the Magee-class ship was the USS Hoover. It was named after a test pilot called Bob Hoover, Eaves explained. For a long time, it was the Mustang class because he flew the old P-51 Mustang. The idea behind the sketch was to see if the design was worth pursuing. Once again, the ship got approved, but before it was handed on to the VFX team, Eaves produced another sketch with longer nacelles. This reflected what was happening with the design of the USS Discovery itself, where the team was experimenting with the length of the nacelles. I just thought I'd give them another variation on top. We were messing with the Discovery's nacelle, so I went a little long to give it a little tie-in. But they wanted the compactness of the original design, so they went that way. As he worked on the paintovers, Eaves put some more thought into the workings of the ship. The bridge was slightly indented in a well in the middle of the saucer. That came from the way the Discovery dish looked at the time. Before we had the separate ball, we had a normal bridge, but it was in this kind of concave pit at the top of the saucer. We were trying to break up the saucer with windows, By doing that bevel, we could put the windows that faced inward toward the bridge. At this point in time, the idea was that all of Starfleet's ship would have new experimental warp drive that had been installed on the Discovery. As a result, Eves gave the front part of the nacelles 3 separate Bizarre collectors, with 2 smaller units beneath the main one. At roughly this time, the decision was taken that all Discovery-era ships would have the same design at the back of the nacelles, which featured a blue grille pattern. This design gained an extra feature that was in keeping with its function as a testbed for warp engines. As well as the 2 large impulse engines, Eves included small engines on top of the nacelle's housing. So a couple of things. Wow, I'm really up close. You might see my eyes kind of keep diverting over. I haven't filmed anything in 2 weeks, so I'm kind of a little bit trying to get back into the groove of things. But some details I wanted to go over, and I don't know if the camera will focus on this at all. Probably not. So you can see here, in the book they talk about where they wanted to put where to put the registry of the ship, because they were going to have a hard time putting it up front here. So in the concept, they had a bridge that went across the 2 nacelles, and they had it there originally, and then kind of last minute they decided to put it down the sides there. So it's down the sides there. It's at the back of the nacelles here. I don't know if you can make that out. And then it's also on the back where the shuttle bay is. So I thought that was pretty cool. All in all, I like the detailing on this. I'm a simple person. I like these little ships, and I'm having a lot of fun collecting them. I'm actually already running out of space to put all these things. So that is the end of this video. I want to thank you very much for tuning in and watching. Thank you again to Eaglemoss for sending me these ships. I have 2 more to go through. I have the Cleve class, and I also have the Shepherd class to look at. So yeah, it's I'm looking forward to doing those. I also got with Star Trek Online the Discovery Enterprise possibly coming to the game this month, based on their roadmap. I also went out and purchased with my own money the Discovery Enterprise, so we're going to be doing a video with that as well. I do want to get more of these. Right now, it's not an official thing with Eaglemoss that they'll always be sending me ships. I think we're just kind of on a trial, see how things go right now. So I do hope that they enjoy this this video, and that I've upgraded from the ghetto version of using the pen holder and a string to pull and spin the ship to. I've actually went out and actually purchased a model turntable. So I hope you guys enjoyed that upgrade. Yeah, if you want to see more of these videos and maybe help me upgrade a couple of things, I'll have a link to my Teespring store. There's t-shirts and stuff down in there. The Fresh Out of Space stock line is released. I'll also have a link to my Patreon. Got a couple of things to pick from there. Nothing big, but every little bit does help. If you're new here, please subscribe and keep an eye out for the next Eaglemoss review video, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.